Okay, back 5 minutes later with the new game. I've been wanting to play this. I've had it for a while, just like had no motivation to play, and since I'm like starting to play like games again, I might as well start it. So pause menu, move cursor, move cursor, move cursor, character sheet, glossary, confirm. Okay, we'll see how I like it though, because it has kind of like mixed reviews. So I'm Samara. Oof, and I don't know how to read. So guys, a Garo, maybe, of Afghanistan, sworn to fight alongside my fellow werewolves to protect, I don't know, Gaia and her inhabitants from the Wirim. Rage drove every step as I tore my enemies to pieces over and over and over again. But the humans have taken too much, and anger battles despair. As I wonder, are they even worth fighting for? In this game, the choices you make will affect who you were, who you are, and how you fight, and who you will become. So Samara, it is time to choose. What is your story? Hopefully I can change my name. Ooh, okay. Physical, running, jumping, and climbing. I love stealth games, so we're gonna do stealth. Am I good at stealth? No. So my physical skill is stealth, learning to move silently and become nearly invisible in the Hindu Kush mountains has enabled you to evade enemies and shadow your prey. Okay, social skills, none. Animals usually avoid, but your ability follows you to manage. Ooh. The powers to coerce, interrogate, and threaten to assure others to. I think persuasion, a proficiency in verbal negotiation and arguments. I think persuasion will work best. Yep. Mental skills, okay. A deep knowledge and understandings of the spiritual world. A healer of people and animals. Proficiency in modern technology. Ooh. I feel like if we're dealing with like mythical beings, that, you know, this will probably be best. And choose your rage. Rage is a double-edged sword. Low rage allows you to make wise decisions, but your caution may cause you to falter when action is needed. High rage can enable you to fight against the evil that consumes the world, but it can also overwhelm. I'm gonna have to go low rage just because I'm already... Yeah, because I prefer to think before I act. If this has to do with a bunch of reading, yeah, I'm gonna need some time to think. Oh my gosh. Hirano. But Hirano is a state of despair. Oh, depression. Okay. Unique to werewolves. Am I a werewolf? Unique to werewolves as you face repeated losses in your fight against the Wirim. Be warned. It's cloud with despair, and you will be unable to shapeshift in these. Oh, then I would have low. Obviously. I don't need to be strong. I just need to be stealthy, you know? To review your choices, check your character sheet and journal, press the respective square button or triangle button. Okay. Like it. You can find loads of useful info about Samira. I'm never gonna... Hopefully I'm getting her name right. Her background, personality, goals, so on there. Ooh, I love this. Okay. Run, whispered the moon. So obviously I ran. I ran, footsteps pounding into the earth as the early winter wind chilled my throat and lungs with every breath. Kazim ran by my side, my hand gripping his thin arm as we raced along the borders of Belarus and Poland, searching desperately for a way through the barbed wire fencing that pitilessly barred our way. The cutting... Okay, I just want to say, hopefully, like, I read slow, so, like, hopefully that does not affect anything. The cutting, raging snow blinded our eyes in the freak storm, a series of bad luck, and the never-ending tragedy that had begun months prior when the Taliban had overtaken my country once more. Hurry! I felt clawing a panic within me. The guards were no match for a werewolf, but Kazim, my brother, was only a human, and a child at that. And the guards would not hesitate to strike him down. So this is low rage. We need to focus on escaping first, for I had promised myself I would protect Kazim no matter the cost. This border was meant to be our last hope, our promised entry into the EU after the long, treacherous journey from Afghanistan. Instead, hope had turned to horror as we found scores of gaunt refugees crowded together in an undaunting sea of desperation that pushed fruitlessly, oh my gosh, against the border. Families cramped and huddled around the fireplace. If we're lucky, we were one of the lucky ones. Okay, like obviously we're one of the lucky ones. We were one of the lucky ones, but even a tent would not stop the freezing grasp of the coming winter. Okay, I'm not gonna read all this. I'm just gonna have to like... violence of the Polish guards and the razor-sharp barbed wire fencing were stopping us from getting in, while Belarusian soldiers were preventing us from getting out. We were trapped, caught in a net, and we gasped for air of freedom. And so we had traveled far from the camp, hoping, praying to Gaia to help us find a way through. We must escape. I'm trying, I almost said this out loud in my frustration, but kept silent at the last moments in case any guards were nearby. There was no answer. I felt a bitter anger. Uh-oh, my rage is getting higher. I felt a bitter anger roil within me as I listened for an answer, but heard no response. As far as I looked, the barbed wire stretched even forth, a delicate ornament that sliced through the forest, fresh snow. Either side, concealing the graves of the trees that the guards had torn down to make way for the silver ribbon of pain. My eyes frantically roamed the fence as we ran. Over there! The barbed wire lay in shadows, but I could nearly make out something in the mist. I surveyed the area. Gotta be a little stealthy. Your place in the werewolf society will be determined by your renown. Win glory through defeating mighty enemies, succeeding at a dangerous quest. Gain honor by following your moral. Accumulate wisdom by acting efficiently. I think I'll probably go for honor because I'm trying to protect Kazim the whole time. I cautiously put a saddle forming, taking shape. I get to choose what it is. I mean, obviously I want a backpack. Tattered canvas of a backpack that now lay in the shredded ribbons as I moved. My heart beat excitedly as I stared at the hole in the fence beside it. There was our chance to escape. My alert senses picked up the crunching of footsteps approaching as we dashed back into the woods, just in time as we watched a guard march along the fence where we stood. Motioning Kazim, we melted into the forest, putting distance between ourselves and the soldiers before we took off running once more. Glints of the barbed wire shone on the corners of my eyes as we ran onwards. In turn, the gleam of a flashlight, the eyes of guards, the edge of a gun, the hunter seeking the child at my side as a prey. As we ran faster and faster, searching frantically for any way through. Kazim? Another burst of lights once I recognized with relief as that of Luna's, as she shone from behind the clouds, revealing at last a small gap beneath the silver that barred our way. Snow crowded greedily at the torn edges of the fence, but it would be a matter of moments to clear it. Moments we did not have. Gasp. For the moonlight also shone upon the hunters, which I had feared. Belarusian border guard had headed our way. Flickers of lights and smoke momentarily illuminated harsh features above a smoldering cigarette as he paused by the fence before turning about, face to scan the other way. Oh, come on, we snuck past. I led Kazim through the shadows, ducking and weaving until we reached the edge of the border. The guard flicked his cigarette onto the ground, the snow instantly exhausting it with greedy hiss. He turned around and began pacing the other way. I breathlessly watched him fade out of sight. Motioning to Kazim silently, I cleared the snow as he scurried beneath a fence like a hare fleeing the snow leopards that snapped at their heels. As he wriggled through, Kazim's coat caught in the fence razor-sharp clutches. I shoved him forward, following close behind as we last made it safely to Poland. A piece of his torn cloak clinched with... Ooh. Are they gonna, like, send dogs after us? We only made it a few hurried steps into Poland when an ancient forest loomed abruptly before us, menacingly in its suddenness. A thick line of trees melded together as one against the blackness of night, and the white snow that violently battered at this vanguard of the wood, a frozen wave of a dark sea. I had heard about this before, such a... I mean, I feel like I don't know. When I was a child. Yeah, because I know, like, these rites and stuff, so that would be... I had mentioned the forest and other groups of Garo, I don't know, that resided within, they called it the Bielorza forest. Thousands of tiny wooden arms from above reach blatantly away from the trunks towards the border, as if seeking to reunite with their brethren on the other side, or perhaps seeking their kin that had long stood beside them, now ruthlessly wiped away from a frozen valley in its silver river. A river I wished to put far behind me as I rushed forward into the embrace of the trees as the forest swallowed us whole. I was afraid. Where is it? Or perhaps the long grasping fingers of fear dug sharply into me as I tried to calm myself. It was almost as if the forest did not want us there. Did not want me. I slowed down. You know, I gotta investigate. As I slowed, Kazim looked at me, concern reflecting in his black eyes, but I could not answer as the oppressive darkness tightened its grip on my senses of an impeding doom grew. Where Aunt come get us? Kazim whispered, the sound making me start in the oppressive hushed silence. Making me start? Of the dark forest. Yes. Once we're out of the woods, we can find a phone and call her, I whispered back as he looked relieved. Warsaw isn't very far. We might even see her by tomorrow. Her apartment is amazing. The best. Snacks, you know. You'll really like her apartment, I promise. The one you stayed in while you were in... The one you stayed in while you were in university? He asked, and I nodded. Yes, exactly. And then we'll have rahu and blah blah blah, and brewed tea for breakfast every day. Kazim's eyes shone brightly, but I could not help but glance guiltily at his too-thin body. It had been far too long since we had a home-cooked meal. Having to rely on food we had bartered and bought, or meat I had caught as a Guru? Stop right there! The beam of a torch blazed through the forest, illuminating Kazim, and I froze against the birch trees. Run! Luna's voice intertwined with the sirens that sounded pierced through the night sky. We dashed desperately through the forest and branches of trees grabbing at us, clinging to our legs. I shoved them. Yeah, I shoved them out of the way. Rawr. Red blazed across my eyes. In my fury, I shredded the branches in front of us. Before noticing the flash of fear in Kazim's eyes, I looked away, grabbing his arms and pulling him forward until we burst into an open clearing. The flaming orange leaves of autumn now lay entombed in the ivory snow that lay over the clearing like a shroud, smothering fallen logs that rose up gasping from the ground in one final hopeless attempt to return to their place in the sky. Don't move. Two border guards stepped forward. Across from us, assault rifles gripped threateningly in their hands. Oh, are we caught? Raise your arms, one of them yelled, his face set and cruel. Ooh! Make us, I snarled. The guard signaled as I fell. Two more guards appear behind us. A German shepherd at their sides. Oh no. One twisted my arm violently. We can make you. Ha 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 ha. He laughed as he easily shoved me forward into the snow. I stumbled, nearly losing my balance, but managing to stay upright as the fury grew. My mind raced, searching for a way out. Some choices may strain your health or willpower. Okay. Will you lose all your health or willpower? You become impaired. This will make physical tasks if you have 0, or social mental tasks if you have 0 willpower harder sometimes. The guards, there's no other way. Oh yeah. Please listen to me. I'm not who you think I am. Oh, please listen to me. We have an aunt in Warsaw. We just want to reunite with her. I've lived there before. I spoke in Polish to emphasize my point. Yes, yeah. One guard looked at the other and shrugged, but the one with the cruel face sharply shook his head. Okay, that's how it's gonna be. For I could see in their eyes that we were merely rats that had escaped from their cage, and we could either obediently return there or be put down. But I was no rat. That's right, I ain't no rat. I ain't. Ooh. Shamira. Okay. Perfect for talking. Okay, so humanoid form. Galbro is strong enough to lift heavy things. Krenos is a war form. Hispo, monstrous form. Okay. Okay, I'm thinking Hispo. I'm gonna grab Kareem. And we're gonna run away. And it's also like intimidating enough for that. Ooh, but they might hit me. You know what? Actually, screw these people. I'm killing them. I was a werewolf. Pain hit me like a wrecking ball. Every bone in my body broke and moved and reset, and I roared in agony, panting and growling. I rose and rose and I rose, and I was an 8-foot-tall killing machine. Yeah, you know what? I attacked. I drank in the human's fear and panic, and I began tearing them to shreds. I was no longer afraid, no longer at their mercy. Their final gargling cries filled me with an inhumane joy as blood splattered across my chest. A delightful crimson of death rising in the air around me as I destroyed the pathetic, flimsy forms. Yes, yes. All around me was red. Red, red, red. Because when I see red, you better run. What? Oh my gosh. Another gyro, their muzzle stained with blood, my blood. My human thoughts return along with the realization that all the guards have been killed. Wait, okay, well, that's not surprising. The piece of their bodies were flung. Wait, did somebody bite me? A savage bite ripped into my arm. I whirled furiously to face this new foe. Okay, I shifted back. My rage was gone, replaced by a deadly ache of weariness after my frenzy of the wolves. And I shifted back into our humanoid form, a previous rite of dedication, ensuring our clothes return as well. Yeah. Who are these people? Okay. Approach me, my body still heaving with the change. Yeah, I'm like a concerned sister, and they just bit me. I'm like, back off. Yeah, back off, I snarled, stumbling away from her. She held up her hand defensively. Hey, we're not your enemies. Ooh, I noticed her Polish was tinged with an American accent. We sensed another gyro presence and came to investigate. The energy drained out of me. Right, sorry. She introduced herself as... I don't know. I'm gonna say Maya. Another is Kim and Daniel. Their names blurred together in my head after the events of the night, and I started to feel faint. But I needed to stay strong for Kazim. Kazim, I realized he was no longer by my side. Oh my goodness, Kazim. Really? I scanned the clearing, the wolves, the bodies. Where was he? I scanned again, feeling my breath choking me, but he was nowhere to be found amongst the wolves. No. In the forest, the bodies. The panic violently tore at me as oh my gosh, no way I killed him. Wait! Oh my gosh. As I stared at the bodies in the snow, one smaller than the rest, my terrified gaze locked onto the ravaged bodies of the soldiers, a small dark form lying there. Kazim! I screamed my brother's name, rushing over as I collapsed down beside him, but I could see it was already too late. Blood stained the front of his clothes. Oh my gosh, as if in a cursed trance, I turned my head, heart pounding dully, and the sounds around me fading as I followed his gaze. What? The clouds rushed in waves away from the center of the night sky as I saw her face. The brightness now turned to a dull, deathly gray as a mocking voice echoed in my mind. Wait, did I kill him, or is he like under a trance, like he was like poisoned by it, or I don't know. What? Luna, stop! Luna's mocking voice echoed in the cloying darkness of my room as the vision of my past faded away. Oh, okay. Oh, that was a nightmare. During the day, these memories were kept far at bay, but once the light fell, they eagerly crowded at the edge of my mind. Ceaselessly repeating their shifting, strident melodies. Some nights Luna was helpful and kind, others, like tonight, she was mocking and cruel. Sometimes she said nothing at all. I preferred Luna in one way. I don't know, like, obviously I don't prefer her mocking, that's rude. I think I would prefer her kind, like, I just lost my brother, like, you know. Her kindness felt soft and warm, keeping me sane for a brief moment, but all the harder to return to reality in the morning. Several long months had passed since that night, since Kazim. Since that had happened, my aunt, a gyro from my sept in Afghanistan who had moved to Warsaw years before, had taken me in, even getting me a part-time job at her girlfriend's bar, a secret meeting place and hangout spot for the local. I mean, I was grateful, but like, it's not what I want to do. I was grateful for the job. I knew many of the others refugees had struggled to find work, and I was happy to have a way to pay back for allowing me to stay with her. And yet, a small, cynical part of me wondered why even bother pursuing my university degree in the first place. A degree at Warsaw University. Even though I had ultimately decided on a degree in computer science at Warsaw University, I had taken several classes in occult lore and history, neither of which I was now using. Oh, I wasn't? Upon my return in autumn, I had eventually tried to fit back into the city to be less of a burden. Okay, but what happened to Maya, Kim, and David? Oh, yeah. I said I was going the honor route. I had met with another Gyro trying to get involved in the affairs of the Sept, but it had felt harder and harder to care about protecting the humans. Eventually, I had given up. What was the point in going outside when everything turned dark and gray and memories floated through every stranger's face? I had heard my aunt whisper of Hirano to Victoria, her girlfriend, the Gyru. Despair. I had fought against it, but I had felt it grasping at my heart every day with a new intensity, and I worried it would soon consume me. I shoved the thoughts of my aunt down as I turned on my side. Thin black curtains draw across the window, the moon just beyond, her voice a beckoning call. I answered her call. Oh, I have zero rage right now. Something moved within me. As for the first time in a long time, I stepped to the window and threw open the blinds to answer her call. Staring out over the Warsaw cityscape, a solid, jagged line of buildings stood dim and gloomy, with Luna shining high above it all. Her form tonight was the same as the night of my first change into a werewolf. Ooh, that was my first. This form had also determined my role in the pack. My auspice? Okay, a new moon. I was a Ragabash, a trickster who challenges tradition. Okay. Luna's favor had also granted me a gift. Blissful ignorance, the ability to become invisible through the power of... Okay, I know I said I wasn't gonna do rage, but like, honestly, I think my thing is like, because when it comes to a choice, I'm most likely gonna choose rage. But I don't want to. It just like, ugh, it just comes, you know? A shield against lesser spirits that sought to harm. Gained through the power of a wolf spirit. The ability to catch glimpses of the past via scent. Why would I want that? A song that recalled peaceful times and lowered rage. The ability to jump great distances horizontally, gained through the power of a hare spirit. Don't want that. I think this, a shield against lesser spirits that sought to harm. I don't want to... I'm scared of spirits. I don't want that. Once a daydreamer and visionary, reality had proven too harsh for the spiritual world. A character, she includes gifts, blah 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 blah. Ooh, items are single use only. Okay. So living ward. How do I... Oh, I see. I'm using my rage. Okay. Okay, so I have one of each. Living ward, a shield against... Okay. Ooh, I'm unfriendly. So neutral and unfriendly. Okay. Luna's form soon became obscured as the memory started to play once more. The voice of the moon, intoning monotonely as I fell back into bed. The void of the ceiling above transformed into a vision of the past as I lay there trapped. So this is all the past. Oh, never mind. Breakfast with Auntie. Dawn's morning ray filtered into the room as I finally got up. I headed down to the kitchen, led by the aromatic smell of breakfast wafting through the hallway, which meant Auntie was already up, which meant conversation. I debated finding some means of escape. Yeah, I'm just like a depressed little... Okay, I'm also not... You know what? Might as well just get it over with. Like, I'm in her house. She found me a job. Auntie sat cross-legged on a embroidered cushion on the floor, watching the news as they interviewed Helena, Shijim, a politician popular for her aid to the Ukrainian refugees. Tuned it out. Boring. I tuned it out. I did not feel like listening to the news today. Auntie quickly flicked off the TV as she noticed me entering, turning to face me. Her thick black hair was pulled loosely back into a high bun. I don't know who's who. I think I'm on the right side. Despite being from Afghanistan, a country of majority Muslim where women were expected to cover their hair, she had grown up obeying only the litany, a fact we had to conceal whatever we left our sept. I don't know what that means. Although unusually careful when I left our sept's village to follow traditions, I had accidentally been caught once on my own by a stray traveler while exploring the Hindu Kush mountains. I had made an excuse, obviously. After listening to me talk ceaselessly for about half an hour, spinning a tale of how my hijab had been carried away on the breeze while I had been adjusting it, the man had finally eased away, walking in the opposite direction. I love that. Maroon tablecloths woven with delicate geometric patterns was spread in front of Auntie, upon which rested breakfast dishes of root, eggs fried with vegetables, paneer cheese, sambosa, and my favorite, sheer chai tea. We owned a table, but we both had spent too many years eating this way to change it for the Warsaw custom. Breakfast? Yeah. Oh! Why would I be mean? There's no use for that. Thank you for the meal. I washed my hands and sat beside Auntie using my right hand. I mean, I guess, like, I am, like, depressed and stuff, but, like, I feel like I'm kind of, like, so depressed, like, I might as well just go with the flow, you know? Using my right hand, I scooped up some eggs with the rahoot, forcing a mouthful. Bland. Ugh. Everything tasted so bland these days. I could feel Auntie watching me with a worried look on her face as I choked down another bite. Listen, Samira, I know things have been tough since... She paused at the look on my face. But I worry about you. You're so smart, and I know that there's a company out there that would love to hire you. Ooh, yeah. They're just beating down the door, Auntie. Okay, maybe the job market's a bit rough right now, but you'll find your path eventually. I know it! We finished eating and washed up. After the meal, Auntie turned to me, fishing a small package out of her purse. I got to deliver this to Ilona. Think you could take it from me? I don't know what willpower is. Am I wasting my willpower when I... You know what? I might as well... Okay, I am wasting it when I do that. Okay. She smiled warmly as she handed it to me, kissing me on the forehead. Thank you. I sighed heavily, wishing that I had denied her request. Looking down at the package in my hand, I examined it closely, wondering what Auntie would need delivered personally to the head of our sept. Ooh, the group of werewolves packs that resided in Warsaw. Obviously, I studied it. As I held it up to my face for closer observation, a wave of nauseating spiritual energy emanated from the box, and I quickly shoved it away. What the heck? I half-heartedly got ready to go, finally leaving the apartment and locking the heavy door behind me with our old-fashioned bronze key. Taking the creaky 100-plus-year-old lift down to the ground floor, I stepped out onto the frosty Warsaw streets, my breath billowing in the air as I exhaled. Really? I had to use that? My university friends had expected I would have a hard time in the winter, but to my surprise I had found the temperatures similar to my home deep in the northern Afghanistan mountains. I shivered as a cold breeze sliced up my face, even if I was used to it. It didn't mean I enjoyed it. I picked up the pace, heading quickly towards the Karen, the spiritual center of the Gyru Sept, and there, Ilona, our leader, could be found. Oh yeah, obviously. You know, I don't want people to look at or talk to me, you know. Oh, so I go through a sewer. Okay. When I first moved to Warsaw, the city had overwhelmed me. The enormous crowds, crowded skyscrapers, the rushing people, and the streets filled with the toxic fumes from cars, trucks, and buses. So very different from the quiet mountains of the tiny village of my homeland. Of course I missed my homeland. Seems like... Yeah, I think I would miss it. I missed it. The stars swept skies above, sleeping outdoors in the mountains, curled up in my lumpus form. Oh, I think that's my wolf form. The freedom of silence. I brushed the thought away as I came upon an abandoned tunnel of gray concrete, a remnant from a long ago construction site that had become overgrown with moss and weeds. Graffiti lined the walls with such intimidating slogans as "Ho!" As I idly read them, the spray paintings up ahead seemed to blur together into a crowded mess of artwork, the harsh swirls and blunt lines of black and white seeming to sway upon the walls. Horror filled my mind as the graffiti paint began to painstakingly peel itself off the wall, twisting and twitching. It sniffed the air in a semblance of a head, slanted towards my location with a jolting speed. The crumbling spider-like monstrosity began crawling robotically towards me, and I back away. Oh, because I have no rage, I can't fight against it. I backed up, but as it approached, I saw the paint began to drip off the centipede until only a puddle of putrid gray rested at my feet. My mind raced over what I had seen. What was it? Oh, those are the things that I'm up against? That was a lesser worm spirit that had... That much was certain, but what was it doing so brazenly showing itself? I hoped Ilona would have some answers. Undercurrent of spirituality energy filled the air, swirling mistily around me as I stepped out onto the road across from the old Colosseum, our Korean home to the Sept of Warsaw. The gaswork Colosseum was a motley, blood-rust red and gray brick structure that, despite its dilapidation, towered with a fierce pride against the grim, overcast skies. Glory, a place of curiosity where spiritual power raged forth from every brick, declaring itself as the stronghold of the Gyru. While the Warsaw Sept, had claimed a part of their city as their own. My Karin in Afghanistan resided within a natural rock cave set high and deep. So I'm not. Do they know that werewolves exist? Oh, I wonder if Maya, Kim, and David are all part of the sept. And yet, they both exude the same power as a will of nature, of the earth that connect us all. I cross the empty roads, approaching the wall as a pulse of spirituality energy grew stronger. I have no rage. Oh, plus rage. Wait. I don't know. Does this give me rage? Okay, so if it's plus, it gives me. If it's before it, it doesn't. A fierceness to match the Karin's rose within me as I eagerly stepped forward into the flowing wave of rage. Though long since abandoned, the Gaswell Coliseum still lay within the city bounds. Wait, am I not supposed to go in here? I don't know. A rite, maybe? The rite of forgetful records sent forth a host of minor-willed spirits to ruin and ravage all physical and digital records that had been collected of the Gairu. The most important defense, though, was the Karin itself, a living ward which held a powerful guardian spirit that fiercely protected its home. Or so they said. I had certainly never felt nor seen evidence of this so-called spirit guardian, and I secretly wondered if some of the old Gairus had perhaps taken a few too many hits to the head. As I approached, a thick wall of gray concrete topped with barbed wire came into view. Another reason I had avoided coming here after my return to Warsaw. I'm allowed here. I use the main entrance. The hidden gate, disguised as a section of the wall. The way through was openable via one of the many graffitied artworks that covered the... I think it would be like slash marks. That's kind of cool. No, or maybe the moon? I think it would be the moon. That's cool. Quickly slipping through the wall, immediately snapped shut behind me. I entered the abandoned lot surrounding the Karin, a desolate stretch of strangling wild grasses and patches of parched dirt covered intermediately with piles of decaying snow. The overcast skies ahead parted as the sun streamed forth upon the grim Karin, highlighting the rust red of the outer walls in it, accentuating the darkness within. As the gleaming rays shone down, they touched upon an object out of place amidst the dusky snow. Obviously, I'm touching it. Oh, okay. Ooh, I want to see if silver hurts me. A silver pendant. What the helly was that doing here? I picked it up as I examined it. Okay, silver only harmed us in our werewolf forms, but it was still unusual to see it within our domain. Of course, I pocketed it. Better safe than sorry, I thought as I pocketed it. You have received the item silver pendant. Ooh, and I could throw it at bad guys. As I continued walking, Ilona appeared from the Karin's entrance, her towering form casting a lengthy shadow upon the ground as she strode up to me. Auntie had told me about her past when I had first arrived. Ooh. I think her assumption to leader. When Ilona had become the sept leader, although a fierce and dedicated fighter, she was a woman of few words, and many saw her as being easily intimidated. What? A mistake they did not make. Oh, more than once. Okay. Samira, it's been a while. She regarded me with a indecipherable expression. Her low tenor voice remained neutral, but I sensed an underlying meaning to her words. So I've been like busy with my dead brother and feelings and all that. So to my surprise, she smiled warmly, lightening her typical fierce expression as she nodded understandingly. Oh wow. So she's favorable? Let's head inside. I walked next to her in companionable silence as we crossed the faded... Karina's favorable? Grassy lot, stepped through the dim spreading shadow that emanated from the towering building. I followed Ilona into the old Colosseum. The broken panes of glass from the numerous windows embedded in the Colosseum walls allowed sunlight to seep in from all sides, lazily painting glowing diamonds upon the packed soil. So this place likes me. A thin resting gray staircase encircled the inner walls of the Korean, rising up to a balcony that would fill with the rest of the sept upon a moot but now stood empty. Spread out across the ground floor of the Korean, I could see the form of various Gyros from different tribes. Ooh, an aura of menace surrounding them, even in their human forms. I mean, she's just like an awkward little, young dolt. All my awkward waves received, however, were expressions ranging from content to disdain, and I quickly lowered my hand. Oof. I knew my Hirano state was not seen in a positive light, but this seemed even more antagonistic than usual. Ooh. Ugh. I mean, personally, like, it is infuriating. It's like embarrassing. Like, just wave back. We were part of the same sept, weren't we? And yet, just because of this Hirano, okay, so I guess like I don't get to choose my human form. Treating me like a pariah. What? Even if there was some other reason why not just say it to my face as I absorbed which guy were present that day, I noticed members of my own tribe among them. Oh, who's my tribe? The Black Furries? Opposing injustice and escalate now. Oh, okay. Curse. Oh, has granted me a gift. A thick, eerie fog. No, don't like that. Counter culturalist to uncover what is hidden. So this would be good for my stealth. The bone gnars, glasswalkers, silence. Ability to transform into another human or werewolf. I kind of like that, but I don't really like the. I'm going with more like, I don't know, power and cunning. Might is what matters most in the fight against. The ability to issue a command that cannot be ignored. No, I'm like an awkward little. Yeah, I don't really have authority. But had fallen apart. The ancient compact is invoked. And so I'm gonna do bone gnars. What is this? Yeah, I can listen into stuff. So. There's one aspect in particular that had convinced me to join the Bone Hours. Uncovering secrets. Duh. Knowledge is power, as they say, and often yield more results than brute force. Drawing my gaze away from the other gyres, I followed Ilona across the Careen, passing the very heart of the Colosseum, in which rested a remnant of the Sept's former Careen from before the war. A black marble capital of Romanesque column whose broken, jagged end had been thrust into the ground above Gaia's soil. Could be read a line of Old Polish that had been inscribed heavily into the stone. I'm not even gonna try. Let me work while you rest. Let me work while you rest. For me, it always meant one thing. Oh, obviously, defenders. We were defenders, the protector. We protected Gaia from the ravages of the worm. Then the vision disappeared, reality returning, as I realized Ilona had been addressing me. Oh, she was calling me by my werewolf name, the one I had chosen after my first change. So honestly, it's gonna be whichever one is easier to pronounce. And that is Menu. Hopefully that's how it's, I don't know. Menu meaning afterworld, the place where I had hoped to send all my enemies. Okay, I guess so. It had been a long time since I had heard that name. Ooh. It no longer fit me. What does this waste? Yeah, it no longer fit me. It's not who I am anymore. I shook my head. That name no longer fits me. It was a name for Samira of the past, and she is someone I no longer know. Oh. Ilona contemplated me, her forced green eyes searching mine before she nodded her head as understanding filled her gaze. Very well. I can certainly understand being burdened with a name that is no longer your own. You brought Aunt's package then? Aunt must have texted her earlier, pulling it out of my bag. Curiosity rose in me once more. You know, I handed it over. Like, I'm curious, but like, my curiosity must have been evidenced when I handed it over because a small smile appeared on her face. I imagine you would have liked to know what's inside. Taking the box in one hand, Ilona, definitely opened it with a single slash of her dark green painted fingernail, revealing the contents. A severed finger, perhaps once human, it had become pure steel of molten dark bottle blue with tiny razor sharp edges. Like those of a knife jolting out indiscriminately around it. So it was a knife. What is that? A lesser bane of some sort, Ilona explained calmly. Your aunt had discovered it in Warsaw and tracked it down. Slaying it along with some others of her pack, she held it out towards me. What are your impressions of it? I grabbed it. Huh. I know what that is, I said in surprise. It's from a psychomachia? I don't know. Interesting, Ilona regarded it carefully. A bane of terror and despair. What was it doing in Warsaw? I asked in confusion. Aren't they usually drawn to war zones or crisis centers? A grim look crossed Ilona's face. Precisely. As Ilona placed it into a pouch, the fingers seemed to emanate with a final pulse of dark energy before she secured it with a snap. I wonder if this all could have something to do with the worm spirit I encountered earlier. Iluna's astute gaze bored into me. You seem like you have something to say? Okay, obviously I would tell her. Earlier on my way here, there was a worm spirit. Shock stamped across her strong features as I told her about the spirit I had encountered earlier. Ilona stood silently in contemplation, breaking in at last to slowly say, "This is becoming a worrying pattern now. When combined with yesterday's death and the recent death accusation, I think I'm more worried about the death. Who died? The words were forced out of my mouth as a rising wave of tangled memories pushed into my mind. I took a deep breath. I calmed myself as I listened intently. One of the Garu, Ilona said as she, pain, sadness floated across her face. We think it was by a worm spirit. The one my aunt defeated? Possibly. Ilona shrugged, her brows knitting together in momentary uncertain. Hopefully. Right now, one of the Glasswalkers is investigating it. Glasswalkers. That sounds familiar. What about the accusations? I asked Ilona about the accusations as she hesitated. There have been rumors of attacks happening. Some feel that the worm is responsible. Although the worm has always been a problem in Warsaw, what is happening now feels unprecedented. And as fast as we destroy the lesser worm spirits, the others appear in their place, Ilona said wearily. What do you think is causing it? I asked curiously. Ooh, loyalty is up. Perhaps a greater worm spirit. There's no definite proof, but something is certain. Manipulating all these spirits to what end? She shrugged. I cannot say for certain. Before I could ask more, another Garu came up to speak with her as she excused herself. I felt something stirring within me. Okay, so minus. For the first time in a long time, I felt a faint excitement stirring within me as I mulled over what she had told me. I lingered for a few moments, hoping to learn more. Ooh, I can listen in. But when it came obvious, Ilona... Paraphernalia. What the freak? I lingered for a few minutes, hoping but it came... would be busy for quite some time. I decided to just ask Victoria tonight instead. Do I know Victoria? On my way out... Oh wait, Victoria's the girlfriend. I spied some equipment near a corner of the Korean that was kept for the use of the Gairus. Oh yes, weapons. Although the Gairus relied more on being werewolves, having a mini arsenal could come in handy at times. I selected a knife. In case I don't have enough rage to transform. I selected a sheath carbon steel fighting knife that I tucked into my backpack. Not terribly effective against spirits, but useful nevertheless. Nice. As I neared the entrance, the door slammed open as a Gairu burst into the Korean. His overwhelming presence, accentuated by a fierce growl that highlighted sharp features, instantly drew the eyes of everyone in the room. I'm gonna say Andreas. Head of the Morning Wolf Father Pack, a native Warsarian from one of the wealthy families. Ooh, yes. He is wealthy, I could just tell. What did I say his name was? I'm gonna say Andre or whatever. Was from one of the wealthiest families in Warsaw. Some even whisper that his family had used his werewolf powers in the past for their own gain. Ilona alone continued to pointedly ignore him as he strode angrily up to her, the sunlight casting an ethereal glow upon his blonde head, as if anointing him in its avenging angel. Whereas Ilona was quiet still with the air of a 5-star general, Andreas had a careless charisma of ruthless recklessness that had led to his becoming leader of the Wolffather Pack at a young age. Ooh, yes. He was brutally efficient. While he was a famed fighter, his methods were brutally efficient. I had heard rumors of how he had dealt ruthlessly with a worm spirit who stood in his way, a trait many admired in the Sept. Ilona! His voice was smooth with underlying contempt as she slowly turned his face. Why have you not taken action yet? Guys, what's going on? I looked at other people. But to my surprise, none of them seemed as confused as I was. Ilona's icy voice cut through the, as I mentioned earlier, I cannot do anything without proof. Andrea's blue eyes grew calm with a rigid fury. Ever since these refugees arrived in this country, there have been reports after report of them attacking Polish citizens. Yeah, that's right. I waited for Ilona to speak. Reports? What the heck is he talking about? I waited for Ilona to speak as he continued. They have, burglarized? Our country and raped our women. Even the politicians have confirmed this. At this, Ilona interrupted, her voice cold. And clearly you have not done your research properly, or you would have known those claims were proven to be false. In fact, it is often the refugees who are the victims, as I am sure Samira can attest. What? She indicated me as Andreas turned slightly to face me. Samira, our very own refugee. Perhaps you could shed some light on what exactly your countrymen have been doing here. His light words seemed to hold an underlining meaning. They haven't been doing anything which you would know, as apparently you don't have any proof. So I'm just saying, you ain't got no proof, buddy. What I know is that if Emmerich had not been investigating them, he would be alive right now. His blue eyes blazed as I stared at him in confused horror. But before I could respond, Ilona interrupted. That's enough, Andreas. Emmerich's death is still under investigation, but what we do know is that it certainly was not caused by a refugee. Now, until we do have any defiant proof of their wrongdoings, her tone implied she thought this unlikely, then I consider this issue as dropped. With an air of frigid finality, Ilona turned her back on Andreas, indicating the meeting was over. Andreas momentarily looked furious before he calmed himself with a frightening suddenness as he gave a small mocking bow of his head. If that is what our leader commands... As Andreas turned away, I caught a glimpse of his defiant, bright blue eyes that indicated that while he may have acknowledged Ilona's authority this time, there would be trouble in the future. The other guys seemed to be awkwardly looking anywhere but at us as a hushed silence fell over the Korean after Andreas. What the heck was that about? Okay, who's Emmerich? Emmerich was dead? I had not known him very well, just that he was a glasswalker. While part of me was reluctantly moved that Andreas seemed to care so much about him, I still wondered why on earth did he think the refugees were involved. I wanted to ask Ilona, but as I glanced down at my phone, I noticed with a start that my job, would be starting soon. Making my way towards the entrance, I turned to close the doors behind me when the ancient stone of the Koreans caught my gaze once more. This time I found myself unable to look away as a vision filled my, a vision of spirit. A strange light seemed to emanate from the very earth itself, an elusive, otherworldly presence that seemed to glow, easing my heart and mind. I inhaled, tasting the scents of nature. So this is plus life minus rage. Okay, just calming me down a little. The vision wrapped around me with a slow, briny wave of intoxicating hope as it swirled before my gaze. And then with a muffled stillness, the door shut me out and the vision vanished. Oh, an alleyway brawl. Hurrying through the darkness streets of Warsaw across the cobblestone roads, I neared the bar owned by Victoria. The blazing lights and the loud crowds of the pubs and restaurants that lined wide streets gave way entirely to dark shadows as I ducked round the corner of a building into a long, narrow alleyway. At the end, blood-red bricks formed the outer line of an enormous wolf upon the wall, beneath which a solid black cast-iron door stood firm, practically blending in with the out. Okay, so is it to keep wolves in or out? Near the entrance lingered a group of drunken middle-aged men. At first I thought they were gyro, but as I neared I saw they were humans, no doubt returning from the football match and stopping to urinate in the alleyway. Catching sight of me, they began to wolf whistle, the irony of which was not lost to me. Obviously I ignored them, but they only seemed to anger them as they began to shout various slurs and derogatory terms at me. I tried to duck inside, but one of them grabbed my arms. Ah! Looks like it's just you and me. The slurred tone made me shudder as I tried to shove him off, but he just gripped my arm tighter, and others laughed. Didn't you come to this country? Whoa. Didn't you come to this country to be a whore? Or are you going to try to convert us? He twisted my arm viciously. Ow! And his friends, who laughed even harder as a rage suffused through me with a retching. No, I remain human. Come on, I can't turn here. I had to get away. So I can't use my willpower. These aren't like high tier, like Victoria's gonna come out and save me. I tried to get away. I attempted to twist away, but I could not shake him off. He gripped tighter. Ooh, this is minus health, more rage. Okay. I didn't know this would take away my health. I delivered a swift jab to his balls with my knees, and he let out a high-pitched yelp. His grip loosened as I at last wrenched my arm free, ducking away. I quickly raced into the bar as my mind twisted with fury. Yeah, that was a smart choice. The werewolves entering the bar could have taken care of themselves. One drunken lout wasn't worth me wasting my energy over. Yeah, I knew it was a Gothic-style bar lined the walls immediately in front of the entrance. The vibrant, multicolored liquids on the black wood shelves behind glowing in the dim light like they softly illuminated the place. Cast iron stools and tables lined the wide space, which would soon be filled with the rowdy, inebriated gyros who came to party. At the far end, an archway led to the labyrinthian hallways in which were tucked small, secluded rooms where the gyros could conduct tribe business. Ooh. Most of the rooms were filled with bone gnawers. Wow, why was that hard to say? Gnawers. The thick concrete walls and underground location protected us from prying eyes and allowed us to discuss our findings. Above the bar itself hung small faded marionettes suspended from the ceiling that smiled eerily down at bar patrons. Weird. And it certainly had character, I could say. New gyros who came to the city often recognized me as a bartender at that bar with the creepy puppets. The night was still early and the bar was fairly empty aside from Alexander, my pack leader. Oh, a few gyros and I vaguely recognized. And Victoria, who nodded as she finished mixing a pint for Pat. Shoot, these are a lot of names. Okay. Or Dr. Patrizia Myers, whatever, as she was formerly known, an intense white, blonde, goth-looking woman who was sitting at the bar. I had befriended Pat when I was studying in Warsaw and reconnected with her after I returned. Obviously, I waved at her. She waved back with a subdued smile and troubled eyes as I ducked behind the bar. The back was crowded with cardboard boxes and supplies, and I had to shove a few out of the way to grab my apron from its hook. Pulling it on, I heard Victoria join me. Her London accent seemed especially thick today as she regarded me with concern. "Oh, not like you to be late." I will not be doing an accent. I just wanted to try it out. She leaned against the wall, her tall, slender model body somehow managing to make it look elegant. What's going on? There were some drunken jerks outside, but I just ignored them. Her face sagged with relief. "Well, thank Luna for that. Last thing I need is to tell your aunt her niece got into a street brawl with some humans." She turned to go. "Come on, we better get this night started." Another wild night at the bar, mixing drinks and serving the rowdy gyros. I could bring Pat and Alexander the drinks or take a short break. Victoria amidst the loud music and music. Talk about a septivide. Talk about grim tradings. I kind of want to talk to my leader. Balancing a drink carefully through the wild crowd, I made my way towards the back of the bar while Alexander sat alone at one of the tables. His long navy blue overcoat blended in with the shadows while his eyes were fixed on the book in his hand, only looking up when I brought him his Cosmopolitan. The first time he had ordered his drink choice had surprised me, but his disdainful expression when I had questioned it had instantly shut me up. I had joined his pack when I first came to Warsaw. "Okay, choose your patron." The baleful Otter pack was known for being fun-loving and mischievous. Not me, I'm a depresso. The Arcane Lynx pack was notable for their fierce independence and determination. Maybe the Immortal Peacock. See, I thought I already had, so like, shoot, what was the Bonars is not my pack? That's my tribe, and there's, I guess, packs and tribes. We're confident. Okay, so I'm not that, so I'm gonna have to be independent and determined. You know what, that makes sense, like, we're all just kind of doing our own thing. A small number of Lynx remained in Europe, fighting for survival. I could relate. Alexander had only been leading the pack for a few months when I had joined. Although his features appeared mostly Korean, my aunt had told me that he was half Polish and had spent his entire life here in Warsaw. I guess it intrigued me, yeah. I mean, usually a bunch of like, but Korean? Yeah, that doesn't. He intrigued me. He had always seemed set apart from the other gyros, with his cool, collected appearance, yet I had caught a glimpse of a fierce rage in his blue eyes, which made me feel that perhaps he was the same as the rest of us. Alexander indicated the seat next to him, interrupting my thoughts. "Do you have a moment?" Yes, of course, leader. Alpha? May I call you Alpha? As my pack leader, I could not really deny a direct request. I glanced briefly at the bar, but Victoria seemed to have it covered for now as I sat down. Leaning in slightly, his tall frame half bent over the table, he began speaking in a low tone as he got straight to the point. "There's been some trouble within the Sept recently, a divide that has only worsened in the past few months. Ilona has asked me to investigate further, and she suggests you may be able to help as well." "Me? Help? How?" Most gyros had already explicitly or implicitly chosen a side, but you have not. "So, who exactly is causing this divide?" I asked, although I cynically thought that I had a fairly good idea of who it might be. Alexander's black eyes momentarily flared with a hint of some emotion I could not quite place as he coolly answered, I'm assuming you know Andre... Oh no! Yeah, I saw him today. Actually, I said shortly. Ah, yes, Ilona mentioned. He leaned forward. Can I ask... Ooh. I mean, I used to respect him when I first got here, and then he turned out to be a total jerk. Alexander smiled dryly. Yes, he's rather like that now, isn't he? Alexander leaned forward, a piece of his dark silky hair falling across his face as he spoke. Listen, Samaria, I believe that your practically helped in this matter will be invaluable. Before I could respond, an intoxicated Gairu stumbled by bumping into her chair as his drink splashed all over the ground. He looked down at it morosely before drunkenly... Whose chair? My chair? Thankfully for the interruption, I stood up. I should probably get back to work, I said hesitantly. Can I let you know later? Wait, he's rather known, Alexander. I believe that you particularly helped him out. What am I supposed to let him know? Oh, if I will help out. Okay. Alexander nodded. Of course, although I must caution that time is of the essence, please let me know by tomorrow morning at the latest. I quickly agreed before squeezing my way back through the bar. Despite myself, I could not resist casting a final glance back at Alexander. His features, usually filled with an aloof confidence, now appeared startlingly fierce as his intense blue eyes stared unseemingly across the crowded room. Ooh, it's serious, guys. Another wild night. Okay, oh, so I have to talk to every single one of them. I'll talk to Victoria last. Heavy rock music blasted in the background as I poured another beer for Pat, handing it to her. She pounded it down before letting out a deep exhale as she heavily set the now empty glass back in front of me. What is that, your fourth beer? Ugh. Oh, I'm trying to lighten the mood. This actually, I expected a joke, but her expression remained serious. I leaned on my elbow, facing Pat. Okay, tell me what's going on. Pat swirled the heavy glass easily in her slim hand, staring down at it moodily. I don't suppose you heard about Emmerich. I recalled the name Andre had said earlier as my heart dropped. Oh, the guru who was killed? Pat's glossy eyes turned dark. That's the one. His name was Glasswalker, and a friend of mine. Oh no, I'm so sorry, Pat. She just nodded morosely, taking another heavy sip before continuing. Pat leaned in closer to me, her expression serious. We're pretty sure his death was caused by a bane. A bane? Wait, I think it was more like a bane? I asked in confusion, recalling that Andreas had mentioned his death had something to do with the refugees. Samaria? Victoria's voice carried over the noise as I turned to see her motioning to the gathering swarms of waiting customers. Sorry, Pat, I got to get back to work, I said distractedly. Wait, before you go, she hesitated for a moment, but then plowed ahead. I really need some help with this. Do you think you could meet me tomorrow at the park? I mean, I don't know. I'll think about it. Possibly I'll think about it. Her face filled with relief. Thank you, Samira, and if you can't, I completely understand. Just let me know tomorrow morning, okay? A gang of guru began yelling at me for a round of beers, and I quickly agreed to text her the next day before hurrying back over. Who is this, like, main guy with the mustache, but yet he kind of looks like a woman. During a lull in the madness of the night, I managed to grab a short break. Leaning back against the counter, I took a deep breath and closed my eyes, feeling the cool steel press into my lower back. Victoria joined me, leaning back as well as she let out an overdramatic sigh. Ooh, screw me. I thought we'd never have a break. I could tell she enjoyed it. Tonight seemed especially busy. Can I get you a drink? No, I'm already working. Yeah. Yep, seems busy. Tonight seems more swamped than usual, I observed. Victoria looked out over the crowded bar, her brow furrowing slightly. You know, something seems off tonight. She gave a quick shake of her head. Not even tonight, really. The past few months, things have been really strange. Off? How so? My tone was casual, but I was instantly alight with curiosity. You know, I can't help wondering if it has something to do with the Triad. Of course we know that since the worm became ascendant, everything has been off the rails. And in the city especially, the Wild had always had less of a hold. The Wild? She paused, but even the Weaver, golly, dude, I don't know what, oh my gosh, whose spirit of order typically thrive in the city has seemed differently recently. You think it's a worm? You think it's a Weaver? What do you think? Yeah, I'm just gonna ask her. What do you think is the reason? I asked. A little column A, a little column B, she shrugged. I think the Wareham and Wareham both are being overreactive, which spells trouble. And she hesitated, avoiding my gaze. I think it's centered around all the recent changes in the city. Oh, the refugees. It's because of us, isn't it? The refugees. No, she hesitated. And yes, I think the Wareham is doing what the Wareham does, taking advantage of the human greed and cruelty that already exists and manipulating it to make things even more messed up. What am I supposed to look at the gyro? I don't know. Oh, okay. I heard from Maya in the forest that they're having trouble there as well, so it's not even a city thing. Before I could ask more, a customer approached the bar drunkenly, leaning against it as they began loudly singing the shot songs. Ugh, great. Victoria pushed herself off from the bar. All right, enough of the doom and gloom. We got people to serve. Her usual cheerfulness returned as she headed to help them. But I could not shake it off so easily. The night eventually slowed down to a halt. We poured the final few drinks for the remaining stragglers before locking up the bar. I said my goodbyes to Victoria and set off home, my mind running over the events of the night, especially Alexander and Pat's proposal. I felt happy. I'm choosing Alexander's if it's a choice, just to let y'all know. For the first time in a while, my heart felt strangely light. Because he's my pack leader. He's my alpha, guys. As I lay in bed once more, Luna's light streamed gently through the open window while my mind churned with the events of the day. I tried to calm the thoughts, to perhaps even fall asleep to a dreamless night for once, but it was not to be. For as the clamoring thoughts turned into a murmur that, it flowed, it was not sleep that took their place, but a memory. Where are we going? Tariq asked. I looked at him in surprise, shifting the weight of the baby in my small arms after our village had been bombed by the Taliban. Wielding weapons gifted to them years earlier by the United States, we had left the rubble of our home and corpses of our parents had fled. My older brother, oh my gosh, both of my brothers are dead. My other brother should have made the decision from then on as a man of the family, but he had been in shock, barely speaking since that night, and I had been forced to carry a younger brother, Kazim, across the rugged northern terrain. Wow, how long were we on run? We're going to safety, Tariq, I said with false confidence. I didn't really know where we're going exactly, but I sensed somehow it would protect us. Tariq just nodded, as if my answer had been enough to feed his momentary glimpse of clarity before subsiding once more into silence. I continue onward, the terrain becoming harsher and steeper as my thin legs carried us over rocky steps that turn into hills that turn into mountains. As we crested a peak, I drew in a sharp breath. The view momentarily painted a picture over my inner turmoil as I stared in awe at the valley before us. Verdant fields caused between two mountain ranges of stone, snow, and rubble. An azure river that matched the daytime sky ran lazily through it. A small village nestled alongside the flowing waters. Walnut trees and apple orchards dotted the valley floor, the fragrant scent of fruits faintly perfuming the pure mountain air. There! The place that was calling me. I think it's just like safety. It's a trick. Safety, I sensed those within had the strength to protect us from it all. Turning excitedly to share the good news to Tariq, I looked around at the now empty plateau. Where did he go? Obviously, I gotta turn back for my brother. I turned back to look for him, but the mountains behind us were empty. Births of life. As I searched, I felt a sudden emptiness in my arms. I stared down at the place where Kazim had just lain. What? Oh no. I looked frantically around, dropping to my knees, scratching in the rubble, when the ground below me lit up with a sickly glow as I turned my head to stare at the night sky. The starlight galaxy above transformed before my eyes with a frizzen of static, like a glitched out computer screen. What is that? As the stars began buzzing around like thousands of tiny flies circling the ragged, gaping black hole where the full moon had previously resided. Uh-oh. What was in there? Where did Luna go? A part of me wondered who Luna was so I'm not... am I not like a werewolf yet? Part of me wondered who Luna was, while the others stayed focused on the black hole as a faint, rasping, scraping noise rattled ominously through the sky as a single, incestuoid claw curled delicately out of the black circle as terror filled my heart. The fear grasping frantically at my mind in screaming waves. More claws emerged, embedding themselves into the night skies as with a horrific screech, a massive, inhumane face filled the unnatural gap. It stared down directly at me from the sky above as a wide, malevolent grin spread from end to end, revealing violently red, sharpened teeth, too many for its mouth. Honestly, I'm a frozen in fear kind of person, so I have to go frozen in fear. I froze in fear. I couldn't move, I couldn't speak, couldn't do anything except stare helplessly at the withering dark shape that wrinkled out of the hole. Okay, yeah, now I ran, but it was too late. No, its hot breath blasted into me as I felt it swallow me whole. Oh, great, I woke. Drenched in sweat, Luna returned to the sky as I quickly stood and shoved the curtains. Was that like the first night or something? I don't know. Another sleepless night. I had a nightmare? What? How did I... Cool, I guess. So people usually have good dreams? Okay. Chapter 2, the hunt begins. I thought I already did chapter 2. Okay, I don't know. Okay, I kind of like this game. I'm gonna continue it. Although I don't really understand, like, I guess, like, the options and stuff. But I'm gonna continue it, so... Just not right now.